each of the candidates a series of 6 questions that have been submitted by members of the audience. I'm going to start by posing the first question to Ms. Bondi, and then we'll have a 1-minute response from her, and then Tyrone down the line. What's the most important experience or asset you would bring to the county board? Ms. Bondi.
Thank you. It's hard to pick just one experience. Certainly being a member of a civic association and working to try to get improvements in my community and seeing how much work and effort it can take to organize with my neighbors in order to achieve a goal is something that really has informed me both as a candidate and in the vision that I would bring to the county board. I've also seen how when working together, people with very different ideas and perspectives can work to achieve great things, and that's also been something that's really informed me. As a nonprofit employee for virtually my entire career, I also know what it means to be able to work for a cause that you believe in, to work for long hours, and to have to bring a lot of different resources to bear in order to achieve goals that you have. And certainly all of those things inform me as a candidate. Thank you.
Mr. Sims?
Thanks for the question, Tom, or whoever actually asked the question. I would say shortly that I've held leadership positions for the majority, actually all of my adult life. A lot of my friends, I'm involved in a lot of national security work, so my friends are always joke that, well, Tyrone, if you could bring people and communities together and move forward with community improvement projects in Iraq, you can probably do them pretty well in Arlington too. I would hope so. Hopefully we can find out. But also my system engineering degree and background gives me the ability to see how processes work in a very efficient manner, streamlining processes, always ensuring that cost-benefit analysis is done for projects. And so that's those two experiences, the leadership aspect and the systems aspect, I think is what I would bring most as a county board member. Thank you.
Thank you. My assets are my perspective and my approach. And this is a perspective that comes from being directly in the community, not only in civic associations, but also as a volunteer first responder, also as a Kiwanian, also my business perspective. In my day job, I help physicians use computer systems and exchange information securely so that we can improve patient care and reduce costs. I manage over 6 teams from anywhere from about $27 million, and I know how to take something from strategy to execution. I also bring my political background and my background for all of us to be able to collaborate and to come together and to make sure that we are solving problems in an efficient and a cost-saving manner.
Ms. Carter?
Well, I've talked about my experience on the school board, and I bring a fresh perspective, actually, because we do things somewhat differently on the school board side, and we really have a culture of continuous improvement, with goal setting, clear priorities, transparent processes, and a way of monitoring, making sure that we continue to improve. But I think most of all, actually, what I bring is a broad and deep network of personal relationships around the region, across the state, and actually at the federal level as well. For example, a number of years ago, I worked for several years with superintendents and board members around the state to improve K-12 education. We actually came to consensus, and that included Arlington County with the highest teacher salary and Bedford County with the lowest, and we came to a consensus about teacher salary, lobbied the state, and actually did quite a bit to improve K-12 funding. I also saw the need for better emergency preparedness, and I'm on the Council of Governments Emergency Preparedness Council. There I've worked across the region to help get an outdoor alert system that serves us today here in Arlington. The problems and challenges we're facing, transportation, affordable housing, they cut across state, regional, federal lines, and I think those deep personal relationships that I've got and the ability to work with people will really benefit Arlington quite a bit, and I look forward to going to work.
Thank you, Tom. I would say that, as I said really in my opening, it's my broad range of experience. As a planning commissioner, I have hands-on experience in transportation, housing, education, urban planning, zoning, long-range plans. Most of the initiatives, of the last 7+ years, I have personally been involved in. Some Some I've agreed with, some I haven't. And I always think there's room for tweaking and improvement. And you have to look at that when you're on the county board. It's not just what one thing you're going to advocate for. You're governing for all, and it's balanced competing priorities. Clearly my reputation for being very fair, paying attention to the underdog, not just the familiar person in the room who you see all the time, who's very good at getting their points across, but the people who are a little new to the process, the newcomers or whatever their situation may be. And again, finding the balance. And again, a reputation for independent thinking and not simply saying, oh yeah, sure, okay, I'll go along with whatever you want to do. I'm a full voice, independent on day one.
Thank you. The next question, we'll start with Mr. Sims. What would you do to promote affordable housing for families in Arlington?
Well, this is an extremely important question, so I'm definitely appreciative of whoever asked the question. We're dealing with two different groups here when it comes to affordable housing. We're dealing with the population of low-income families who live in this county and help make it great like we all do. And then you have the middle class who, for reasons that are out of their control, property values and so forth, are slowly getting squeezed out. And if we all respect and love our community as it is, then we have to do what we can to ensure that those populations are still allowed and able to live in this county. So I would do what I can as a board member to ensure that housing is available for all those persons.
I would have to agree that Arlington is a wonderful place to live, and because of this, sometimes we are a victim of our own success. We do need to focus and make affordable housing one of our main priorities moving forward. And this is not just only for families, but this is also for individuals. These are for people who make our community more vibrant. These are for people who are home health workers, who are helping people age with dignity in place in their homes. We can do many things to do this. Our county is currently using many tools at their disposal, whether it be bonus density, whether it be AHIF, and the list goes on. But what we need to do in addition is not only build new construction that includes affordable units, but to get in front of current owners, to see where they are today, see if they're at risk, see if they're going to sell, and see if we can keep and retain those affordable units. Again, there are many ways that we can address this. We can do better, and we will do better.
I think in many ways, as we face change, this is the issue for the community. Market forces are against us. It's really tough. But if we're going to keep Arlington the diverse and vibrant community we love, we've got to have a good supply of affordable housing. And it's not just for those with low income levels, but those with median income levels. Many of us of my age, our children can't even afford to live here. And what kind of a community can't afford to have its children live with us? So we need to work on this. I think we have to first really approach it with planning. Are we going to really commit? Is it important enough that we're going to put the resources there we need to? Right now we're doing a lot, but we're not doing enough. So clearly we're going to have to do something different. We do need to stay ahead. We need to work with the existing housing stock folks and make sure that they have loans and benefits that can help them continue to provide affordable housing. We need to do the bonus density. But I think we also need probably to be thinking outside of the box. Because as I say, the results we're getting are not sufficient. And if we want to be the kind of community we want in 20 years, we're going to have to do some things differently.
Mr. Fowler?
Thank you. I think first of all it's worth saying that if it were easy to solve the problems with affordable housing, we'd already be doing it, wouldn't we? We wouldn't be having this struggle for years. So if nothing else, that makes it clear, as we probably already mostly knew, that it is a challenge. I think that first of all, people have talked about the incentives, the affordable housing bonus, for example, and other features that we have. We certainly need to revisit that and see, within the zoning ordinance, how you're limited in Virginia what you can do, okay, under the Dillon rule and what have you. We have limited tools. One in which we do have some control over, obviously, is incentivizing. The density is not always the answer, and I can tell you, having looked at more than 50 projects, okay, of one type or another in the last 7 years through site plan. Everybody gets concerned about height and density. I would also suggest that we need to reconvene the housing roundtable from several years ago and look to change the housing ordinance in a negotiated manner amongst all the groups to have a more impactful change and benefit both sides. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Affordable housing is one of my very top priorities, as it has been since I began work on it in 2004. In that time, I have helped to create some of the portfolio of both programs, policies, and resources that we use in affordable housing. From building partnerships, both with nonprofit providers and for-profit providers, in order to preserve and to create new affordable housing, to our affordable housing ordinance, which is the strongest in the state that guarantees what has turned out to be more than $25 million worth of affordable housing benefits since it was enacted in 2006. Looking forward, we do need more tools. And in addition to the work that's being done along the Columbia Pike corridor to look at new innovative tools, I have worked at the national level with Smart Growth America, at the state and regional level with the Coalition for Smarter Growth, and as an advocate with the Virginia Housing Coalition and Housing Virginia in order to get more state resources like a statewide housing trust fund to help match what we do locally, as well as to get more protections in zoning.